Alright, how are you guys doing today? My name is Ben. Today we'll be checking out Jahoda, Wind Threading Shadow. So obviously we met her in the story, but let's see what Hoyo wants to show us today about the Jahoda. And what art we'll get. Very smug. Look at that face. Trying to look well put together. Yeah, that smug aura. Of course, we know from the story. While she has her smug moments and moments of extreme competence, she's also just a little bit silly and finds herself in a lot of situations where she's out of her depth and just doing her best. But have to love that about her. Yeah, her design has always been just so visually interesting since we first saw her in Moonlit Ballad. It was like, what's going on here? Like, cat, bat, huh? What's happening here? But with Nefer's affection for cats, I think it makes more sense that she's cat-coded. Again, with that very smug look on her face. But yeah, the interesting design elements of polarity, positive and negative, how that connects to Kuvaki within NodKrai. Yeah, she just has a very cute, fun design. And we've seen her in game, we've seen her 3D model. So now it's, well, can't wait to get her playable. Let's get that music on, and let's check out the official post. Persistent thought brings light to even the deepest secrets. Okay.
Very well. I will hold your hand and not leave your side. However, given the delayed onset of sleep you experienced last time compared to the time before, I propose implementing Aino's favorite sleep aid, hugging. Very well. I will hug you, Jahoda. I will not leave your side.
In Nefa, the metal-faced lunkhead who has more or less developed a sense of humor. Yeah, she does have a little bit of a rivalry with machines, it seems, and her interactions with the Nefa earlier on were definitely interesting. And of course, her prosthetic arm made by Aino, and basically expert. She's also the one who made. Oh man, Sasha, right? I believe Sasha's arm from the Lantern Keepers. Yeah, so just an expert overall, and our favorite little treasure hunting gremlin, Jahoda, helping her out. Which I'm sure there's a story behind how she lost that arm, and maybe that's even the story we'll dive into. Next patch. Metal face lunkhead. Backhanded compliments. Sense of humor. Name Jahoda. Title Wind Threading Shadow. Official employee of the Curatorium of Secrets. Vision Animo. Constellation Fragum. Another one of her art. Same art, but switching up the background. Getting it more NodKrai. Yeah. Let's see what else they have to tell us about Jahoda. A little bit here. Day after day, amidst all the noise and mishaps, the people of Nasha Town have grown thoroughly familiar with the one and only official employee of the Curatorium of Secrets, Miss Jahoda. Sometimes she struts out of the curatorium with all the self-importance in the world, bounding through the streets just to buy herself an extra large sugar sculpture. Sometimes she springs furiously across rooftops, chasing down a client who tried to scam her. Other times, she'll slump by the curatorium's front steps, head bowed, motionless as Ashru plays with her undone braids. Oh, little guy, kitty cat. Many have posed the same question to Lady Nefer. In a town so full of rare gifts and inquisitive minds, why place your faith in a girl so ordinary, perhaps even a touch clumsy? That's what I saw when I started reading above, and I was like, ah, clumsy. A little bit, perhaps, but she gets the job done. Never's reply never changes.
At any rate, just trust my judgment.
However, on especially awful days, even Jahoda will ask feebly, with her head hanging low, and probably one of her amazing animated faces. Eyes put on.
Boss Neff, there's no chance you'll fire me suddenly, right? Why would I do that? If you're gone, who's going to feed Ashru and refill his water? Really? That's the reason? But... Ashru, you little rascal.
Okay, still in Jahoda mode.
Ashru, you little rascal, get off! That braid took me forever. Meow, meow, meow. Meow.
Never leans her chin against her hand, watching the girl and the cat in their usual tangle of play and fuss. She knows Jahoda will continue to grow, that one day Jahoda will learn to navigate every rocky patch and treacherous storm, steer her own life with a steady hand. And when that time comes, the girl who began with nothing but herself will have to face the question, where does her path truly lead? To Nefer, it's a question interesting enough to observe. Interesting enough to observe. To Jahoda, it's an answer important enough to chase after. Saying about the mystery behind Jahoda and what she'll do. Like I said, such a fun design. Really feel like you get a ton of different design elements in there. Asymmetry, but kind of cobbled together, which makes perfect sense for the position she's been in. You know, sort of ramshackle nature of NodKrai and her occupation. But yeah, that's very interesting to chat about. I would love to know more about Jahoda's past. Like I said, how did she gain that prosthetic? And she's often mentioned rules to treasure hunting and similar things, right? While we were infiltrating the bureau. So I really cannot wait to see more of her and her amazing faces in the future of NodKrai. Yeah, she just does such an amazing job every time of breaking the tension. Whenever something's getting a little too much, Jahoda, do a funny face and do something silly. I think the highlight from Luna 2, from the most recent story, was definitely when Arlecchino looks at her and her eyes just turn into pinpoints and she just gets stiff and slowly turns away like, if I don't look at Arlecchino, she can't see me. I'll just ignore her staring at me right now. It was so adorable, so fun. But yeah, feel free to let me know what you guys thought down below. What do you think of Jahoda's design since we've first seen her in Moonlit Ballad to now? How is she similar or different than you thought? And how do you like her 3D model in game? I think they did a really good job again of translating the art to 3D. And she's, like I said, been such an amazing character with her expressions, her faces, her attitude, her inner monologue, her thoughts, everything. Incredible. One of the most entertaining new characters of NodKrai. But with that, I'll leave it off for today. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to subscribe and watch what you want to watch. I hope you guys all have a great day, night, whatever time it is for you. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. See ya.